The Blackhawks will kick off to start the game.
Greetings and salutations from Gessling Stadium on the campus of Carnegie Mellon University, where tonight the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings open up the home side of the schedule with a matchup in WPIAL Week 2 action against Class 5A, the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Hello, everybody, from the press box. I'm Brennan Rothside, joined by my partner Kyle Templin. And Kyle, great evening for some high school football. And Central Catholic, they're off to a real hot start to begin the year.
Absolutely, 2-0, hot start, 2 wins so far, all above 40 points scoring, 43 points against Woodland Hills and a whopping 47 points against St. Ignatius out of state.
And in those games, too, they're averaging a total of about 450 yards per game total, 180 on the ground, 278 through the air. And whenever you talk about this Pittsburgh Central Catholic offense, it's hard to ignore the contributions of the 3-year starting quarterback Peyton Wayner and the weapons that he has at his disposal, which we will see in just a moment.
Absolutely. Peyton Wayner, I feel like he's grown up right before my eyes watching him play football and basketball here at Central Catholic. And he's been playing a long time at that quarterback position, and he's definitely come into his own for sure.
So Caden Wetzel will kick things off for Bethel Park, who comes into tonight's game 1-1, coming off of a 19-16 overtime defeat to Mount Lebanon, and we're underway. Kick goes end over end. It's fielded by Xavier Thomas from the 8. Thomas has some room, and there goes Thomas.
Yeah, huge hole there.
Blink and you missed it. PCC on the board first. Touchdown, Vikings.
And no flags in the backfield. That's definitely going to count.
Now, we won't see the offense quite yet because of the kickoff return, but that's one of the weapons that we mentioned that Central Catholic has at its disposal. Or, well, we have Peyton Wayner coming out. Maybe they'll go for 2. Central does like to go for 2 quite a bunch. They've only kicked 6 extra points, which is about half of their points scored through the first couple of weeks. Wayner in the shotgun with a swinging gate to his left. And now they'll go back to the traditional formation, and a flag will fly. 13 seconds in, and Central Catholic already up 6-0 with the extra point pending, or the 2-point conversion pending.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting because, definitely.
On the defense, half the distance to the goal.
Interesting.
Try for point.
So it's a encroachment call against Bethel Park, and a 3-yard 2-point conversion attempt will now be a 1.5-yard 2-point conversion attempt. Just makes things a little bit easier for the Central offense, which is something, if you're Bethel Park, you want to neutralize as much as you possibly can. And the handoff in for the 2-point conversion is Elijah Faulkner. 13 seconds in, Central Catholic up 8-0 over the Bethel Park Blackhawks.
Quick score there by Faulkner, and we're probably going to see a lot of him in the backfield for Central Catholic on offense, if we can get the offense on the field here. So definitely going to see a lot of him and Wayner.
Nonetheless, we open things up with a 92-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Xavier Thomas. Got the blocks he needed and took it the rest of the way. Central up first, and now we'll see the tenacious Central Catholic defense, who, of course, they're highlighted by their linebacking committee, Cole Sullivan and Anthony Speck, a pair of Power 5 commits alongside Ty Uhas anchoring the defensive line. But we'll see how they fare against Bethel Park's offense, which has a pretty stout passing attack with junior quarterback Tanner Pfeiffer, who we'll see in just a moment.
Yeah, Pfeiffer is definitely a quarterback that has dual threat capability. And Cole Sullivan on the other side, a 2-sport athlete, and yes, a Power 5 commit, for Central Catholic, and Central Catholic's defense so far is a single-digit defense, as they've only allowed 7 and 6 points to their opposing offenses so far this season.
Petrus fields it from the 1. He's brought down quickly on the play by Dylan Deasy. 1st and 10 Bethel Park at the 14 to start out.
A nice stop there by Dylan Deasy. Stand out also on defense.
So Bethel Park will start 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line, far hash marks. We're just getting underway, really, from Gessling Stadium. Central Catholic already up 8-0. It's Pfeiffer in the shotgun. Handoff goes to the man dotting the I. That's Javon Moore. Moore has a burst of speed. He gets to the sideline, pushed out of bounds at the 33-yard line, but not before he picks up a Bethel Park first down on a pickup of about 19.
Nice sweep there. Nice sweep there by Bethel Park against the Central Catholic defense. Good push there along the side.
They'll mark it a gain of 18, so call it 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line.
Bethel Park doing a good job taking their time there.
From their own 33.
Pfeiffer in the shotgun, standing about 5 yards behind his center. Give again to Moore, left side. Moore gashing the defense again, dives forward, but he's a yard shy of the first. He's tripped up by Jaden Thrift for 2nd down and 1 upcoming.
Yeah, they're getting good offense on that left side there for sure.
Moore can't get back to the line. First hit made behind the line of scrimmage. That's Anthony Specca, the future Penn State Nittany Lion, alongside Cole Sullivan. And it's 3rd and 2.
Brought down by
Bethel Park last week could not get the rushing game going, only rushed for 88 yards. Moore was the bell cow, 63 yards on the night for Moore. He takes the hand as he's tripped up by Stanek. Down to the 45. There is a flag down behind the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense number 1. 10-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So negate the first down run by Moore, and we'll repeat 3rd down. It's 3rd down and 12 from the 31-yard line. 10:36 to play in the first quarter. Central up 8-0 after a 92-yard kickoff return by Xavier Thomas, in case you're just joining us. Pfeiffer takes the snap and looks over the middle. Pass is incomplete. It was intended for the future Northwestern baseball player Ryan Petrus, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, in and out of the hands there by the Bethel Park receiver, and unfortunately that just did not convert for them.
Petrus in punt formation.
from their own 31.
And back deep for Central. Looks like is Vernon Settles. Petrus takes the snap. Good pressure by Sullivan, just bull rushing the man up front. And the ball will take a roll and arc back to the 45-yard line. That's a 24-yard punt. Central will start 1st and 10 from its own 45-yard line. First time we see the Central offense in action.
And as the Central offense gets on the field, I'd like to remind you about the 31st annual Letterman's Club outing. The Letterman's Club golf outing is almost sold out. Please visit www.centralcatholics.com/golf to learn more about registering for your outing and available sponsorship opportunities.
1st and 10, Wayner leads the offense in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff, throws it to Gonzalez. It's complete. Gonzalez with a burst of speed up to the 46. And expect this Central offense to run quickly here under head coach Ryan Lehmeyer. He perfected that offense at Pine Richland and at Seneca Valley.
Brought down by Kuewa.
Yeah, it's interesting that there is a new coach here at Central Catholic with a new type of offense, and Peyton Wayner has to adjust to that.
Wayner, again, right side, pass dropped. by the receiver out on the screen. The intended target looks like was Maceo Watkins Jr.
Wayner's pass intended for Maceo Watkins, incomplete.
Yeah, it looks like Watkins Jr. unfortunately tried to run before he caught the ball on that one.
3rd and 1. Bobble snap, handoff, and Elijah Faulkner is brought down at the line of scrimmage. If anything, brought down by Clancy Ori, the stud junior defensive end for Bethel Park.
No gain on the play, 4th down and 1
And they're going to keep the offense out
from the Bethel Park 46.
on 4th and 1. Wayner keeps, read option, 1st down and more. Wayner up across the 30-yard line, 1st down Central.
And that's a confident play there by a confidence coach and a confident quarterback.
Down to the 28-yard line, 1st down after the 18-yard run by Wayner. Flag on the snap. Wayner takes the read option, and he'll be spun down. But again, we'll see what the flag is on. Brought down on the play by Christian Davis. It's interesting, Bethel Park runs this 4-2-5 defense. Not a lot of teams run a defense quite like that.
No, they do not. No, that is an interesting defense to run. And it definitely, though, has not slowed down Central Catholic so far as looks. But it is an interesting defense to run, and we'll see how Wayner and the coaching staff here at Central Catholic adjust to it as they go throughout the game. Still trying to figure out what this flag is for.
Penalty, replay 1st down.
So a flag on the defense.
Yeah, so since it was pre-snap, they moved back to the line and then just advanced it 5 yards, which is about where Wayner was anyway.
Yeah. It's an interesting penalty.
1st and 5 from the 23-yard line. Wayner in the shotgun, Faulkner to his right. Handoff to Elijah Faulkner. And cuts up for what looks like 1st down yardage. He does have it to the 18. First time they're in the red zone. And again, Central moving quickly. Faulkner runs right into his left guard and is brought down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great job there by Bethel Park to close that hole early.
That was Jovian Smith clogging up that hole on that left side as Faulkner ran right into the left guard, Tanner Fuchs.
Central running at a very quick pace.
Wayner, huge hole, throws to the end zone. Sullivan bobbled, and it's incomplete, broken up by the back safety, KK Kua.
Yeah, that was great defense by Kua, and I'll tell you what, that's a ball that Cole Sullivan rarely drops.
He's a sure-handed tight end heading to Michigan next year. He's the only two-way starter on this Central team. Normally a Viking squad that has players only play one way, which helps a lot, especially later in games.
Yeah.
Empty set, Wayner, screen pass, complete. It's Sasic. Jacob Sasic bolts his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Central Catholic.
Huge catch there by Sasic. Huge run, and I'll tell you what, it's probably a name we're going to hear a lot tonight because he catches a lot of balls for this Central Catholic offense.
18-yard catch and run by Jacob Sasic on the screen pass. And it's 14-0 with 8:23 to go in the second. Wayner will run right on the two-point conversion. He gets in, no problem. 16-0 Pittsburgh Central Catholic up against the Bethel Park Blackhawks. And we played only 3 minutes and 37 seconds of the 6A versus 5A contest.
Yeah, already on the board, 16-0. Sasic's already got a touchdown. And like I said, we're probably going to hear a lot of us calling his name tonight. He's already averaging over 100 yards receiving a game from those two previous games that they played for Central Catholic. That's huge in high school football. And I can't say enough that it looks like he's going to start racking up the yards again against Bethel Park here, unless Bethel Park's defense can get this game under control here in a hurry.
Well, Sassek's a senior that he doesn't get quite the attention that his other star senior receivers get, that being Gonzalez and Settles. But Sassek has proved in the last couple of weeks to start out the season he can do just as much, if not more damage than the other two, especially when he goes unaccounted for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's got hands and he's got speed.
So kicking off now for Central Catholic, Billy Letch.
Moore and Petrus deep.
So now we have to see how Bethel Park here is going to respond. They have to come up with something here on this offensive drive, or this game is going to get away from them here in a hurry.
You can make the argument it already has, but still a two-possession game, all things considered. It's an onside kick. And a scrum for the ball at the 44. Wow. Central says it has it.
Wow, that is a confident play there.
And they do. The surprise onside kick recovered by the kicker, Billy Letch.
That's a bold play there by Central Catholic, and it pays off. Putting the dagger early to the Blackhawks here. So the Blackhawk defense gets back out onto the field, and now they have to defend midfield here.
And just like that, just when you think the Bethel Park defense has a time to breathe, Ryan Lehmeyer says, not so fast.
Yeah.
As Wayner leads the offense back out.
From the Bethel Park 45.
And it's a low snap. Wayner pulls it in. Pass complete to Sasek on the left side. Sasek gets past the free safety, Mitchell Paschal, at the 36.
Close to a first down, it looks like, but not quite.
Yeah, it's second and 1.
Boy, this is a blistering pace that this offense is running.
It's what you expect with Ryan Lehmeyer. Fake the handoff. Wayner again. They love the screen pass. Sasek puts a defender on skates and picks up a first down.
Wow. Broken ankles. That's something that you see in basketball. You don't see that a lot in football.
And when you do see it in football, you hear the reaction from down below us. You get a collective ooh and ah.
No doubt. No doubt. Wow.
Wayner over the middle. Touchdown, Vernon Settles. 26 yards. Wayner to Settles for the score. 22-0 in the blink of an eye.
Settles also a senior, also someone that is a two-sport athlete, and also someone that has been on this football team for a while and has just been putting in the work for a while, and it's great to see him come through in that play.
And again, Central, they don't kick very often, at least not as often as other teams would on extra points. Wayner takes the snap, and Wayner spins around. We got a flag. This will be holding, and the pass, I thought for a second it was caught by Colson Gatton, but it gets broken up at the last second by Mitchell Paschal.
Quite a few flags on the play there.
Yeah,
a lot of holding.
One is definitely holding because I saw someone get tackled.
Yeah.
By an offensive lineman, that is.
Yeah, there's definitely holding all the way on the far side there, and then I think there was holding again out here on the near side as well.
There are multiple fouls on the play, both against the offense.
Oh, there you go.
Downfield on the offense. Holding on the offense. Those fouls are declined. The result of the try is no good.
So with 7:32 to go in the first quarter, Pittsburgh Central Catholic jumps all over Bethel Park, 22-0. And right now, Peyton Wayner, 5 for 7 for 72 yards, and one of those passes were dropped. So really, if you take that drop into consideration, you could be looking at a 6 for 7 or a 5 for 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible stat line for Peyton Wayner, and honestly, you know, for for a start of a game to be up 22-0 here, and not even out of the first. 7:32 left. I mean, again, I mean, you got to be shell shocked right now if you're the Blackhawks. You got to be looking right now at getting the ball. I mean, it's insanity to me that they have only had really one drive so far. You know, Central Catholic has done a really good job of just keeping the ball away from them. So it really is something else, and we'll see what the play here is now. I mean, they onside kicked it last time. I mean, let's see what they do here.
They do kick it deep, and this is in the end zone. Can't bring it out of the end zone in high school football, so this is a touchback.
Yeah.
1st and 10, Bethel Park coming up.
So Bethel Park has a chance here to come out, and I think if you're Bethel Park, I mean, you got to come out with a big play here early. I mean,
you have to.
Yeah.
Come out guns a-blazing.
You can't keep just running it the way that you've been doing it. I mean, you got to come out with something big. I mean, you got a quarterback that can do it, that's for sure. So,
yeah, Tanner Pfeiffer, who last year really had an outstanding season, all things considered.
Absolutely.
Pfeiffer last year throwing for just a shade over 1,500 yards, threw for 14 touchdowns, ran for an additional 9.
Yeah, he's got dual threat capability for sure.
He's in the shotgun, fakes the handoff,
Ooh.
And Gatton was in his face, and as was Ty Uhas, the future Pitt Panther, as Pfeiffer just throws it incomplete. And Bethel Park, really, if you think about it, they haven't really gotten out of the gates here just from how quickly Central jumped out on them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so far it has been a tough go for Bethel Park, and I mean, overall it's been a rough go for them on offense, but again, I mean, this is good so far right here, spreading it out, see what they can do.
Pfeiffer's pass complete to Moore on the screen, quickly brought down by Specca. Anthony Specca on the stop after a minimal gain of, looks like 2, and it's 3rd down.
And you got to worry about Specca back there because he has 2 sacks so far on the season. So he is somebody that can get in the backfield in a hurry.
And not only that, but he's someone that can certainly rack up well more than that.
Yeah.
Once the season's said and done.
Yeah, he's a guy that eats tackles, and he's a guy that can eat quarterbacks.
Pfeiffer, deep ball to the left side. It's caught. Outstretched grab by Jack Bruckner. He's out of bounds at the 47 for Bethel, 1st down.
That was a great pass there. I'll tell you what, he put that right over the back shoulder there. It was a perfectly placed pass. That was a great pass by Bethel Park there.
So 25 yards on the reception, and it's 1st and 10 from the 47. First down, make that the second first down of the day for Bethel Park. Handoff to Javon Moore, brought down quickly by Colson Gatton.
Good hard run in there by Moore for Bethel Park.
And we've seen in the last couple of weeks, we talk about the studs for Central, but there's a weakness. It has been the pass defense in the first couple of games. 198 passing yards given up to Woodland Hills, another 239 against St. Ignatius last week. As Moore up the middle, close to the first down, brought down a yard shy. Looks like Deron Goodwine on the stop.
I got to wonder how much that is skewed, though, based on the amount that those teams have had to pass based on the score.
That is true, but keep in mind, too, that Woodland Hills did score in its first possession.
That's
and then
true.
It was all downhill from there for the Wolverines. Moore up the middle, 1st down Bethel Park. As he picks up just the amount of yardage he needed for the first. And Bethel, just like that, 2 for 3 on 3rd down.
Yeah, they're grinding out some yards here, which is good. I mean, they're giving their defense a chance to rest here, which is also important.
1st and 10.
But they definitely need to get on the board in this possession.
1st and 10 from the 42, and the entire defensive line jumps.
Yeah.
And that'll set up Bethel with 5 fewer yards to deal with.
5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Ball at the 37.
Fans, make sure you get your tickets for tonight's 50-50 raffle for what is sure to be a large cash prize.
Pfeiffer looking deep, going for the home run ball. It's caught! Touchdown, Bethel Park. Pfeiffer to Ryan Petrus.
I'll tell you what, that was a beautiful pass by Pfeiffer there.
37 yards the distance, and Bethel Park on the scoreboard.
He dropped that. It was like an arc that just went right over the defender. I mean, that was great defense there by Central Catholic, but that ball by Pfeiffer, I don't know how it could have been thrown any better.
It couldn't. And that's why Tanner Pfeiffer, I mean, he gets the accolades that he does. Some movement, no call. Extra point is wide right, pushed right by the kicker, Thomas Bova. And with 5:11 to go in the first quarter, it's 22-6. Pittsburgh Central Catholic leading.
So tough break there on the extra point, but more importantly, though, they got on the board scoring. So Bethel Park coming back, getting on the board. That's got to be some confidence there for the Blackhawks sideline there, but still a long way to get back in this game for them. That is tough.
So Bethel Park, after giving up 3 consecutive scores, the kickoff and then the more methodical drive for Central, then the onside kick leading to another Viking score. Bethel gets on the board with a long touchdown pass from Tanner Pfeiffer to Ryan Petrus. And Petrus, we know that he was the conference player of the year last year in the Allegheny 6. We know he can light it up, and he shows it there, as does Tanner Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Pfeiffer, like I said, 2 beautiful passes on that drive. I mean, the one right over the shoulder to his receiver, and then that last one just went right into the breadbasket for the wide receiver there, right in the end zone. I mean, great defense by Central Catholic on both plays. I mean, tight defense for the defender on both plays, but Pfeiffer just threading the needle.
Wetzel tries to kick it short, but it rolls out of bounds, and that'll put Central at the 35, assuming that they accept the penalty.
It's a great time to tell you about the annual fund here at Central Catholic. Please consider supporting Central Catholic High School through the annual fund. The fund provides vital support for financial aid and student programming. Please go to www.centralcatholicHS.com/give.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So we will re-kick it. A lot of events happening here at Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Of course, you mentioned the Letterman's Club golf outing earlier and the events on the quad. We're honoring Terry Totten, class of 76, recently retired as the head coach here at Central, but he is back. Ryan Lehmeyer wanted him back as a defensive assistant, and he's back on the sidelines for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. And really it's a nice touch because, you know, no one exudes Central Catholic more than Terry Totten.
I'll tell you what, the guy is 100 when it comes to dedication, when it comes to commitment. When you think about, you know, turning boys into leaders,
yes,
you know, Terry Totten is the gold standard. And to have him on the sideline for you, that is what you want.
Pooch kick again. This one goes into the waiting hands at the 30-yard line. That's Jaden Thrift fielding it on the run and gets it up to midfield. First down, Central Catholic.
Jaden Thrift fields the kickoff.
Jaden Thrift, another defensive player who's getting some looks. He has a roster spot offer from Waynesburg. I'm actually the announcer for Waynesburg football, the PA announcer. They have a tough game tomorrow against Grove City. And Central has it right at midfield here at Gessling Stadium at Carnegie Mellon University. 5 receivers set, man in motion. Wayner gives Elijah Faulkner right side. Faulkner banging through tacklers and gets up to the 39-yard line.
Faulkner on the carry.
Yeah, Faulkner earning those 10 the hard way that time.
It's a gain of 9.
Gain of 9.
And Faulkner again. First down and more
Faulkner again
as
on
he
the
gets
carry.
up to the
Brought down by
34-yard
33.
line. So Central, they don't run much, but
First down Vikings.
Faulkner, 5 carries, 21 yards thus far. And Wayner keeps. Thought about throwing, but just tucks it and runs. The sagacious move. He runs out of bounds. And looks like they'll mark it at the line of scrimmage, so no gain, 2nd and 10.
Really the only hang-up I see in the Central offense is for some reason Wayner seems to be having a problem with low snaps.
Yeah, I mean, that could be
2nd and 10 for the Vikings
something to work
from
on,
the
too.
34.
Yeah.
Handoff this time to the freshman, Sanier Brooks. Gets across the 30-yard line up to the
Sanier Brooks
28
on the carry.
for a pickup of 6.
Other than that, this offense is just running. I mean, it's running so fast that the chain gang over there is having a hard time keeping up when they get first downs.
That's Ryan Lehmeyer football right there. Wayner read option, all sorts of room. Wayner to the 10. Wayner to the end zone. Wayner with the touchdown.
Wow.
For the Central Catholic touchdown.
28 yards on the keeper by Peyton Wayner. His 3rd score, first rushing, and Central puts up a quartet of touchdowns through not even the first 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah, 4:07 left, and we're already at 28-6. Wow.
So now we have our first traditional extra point. This is Billy Letch. And the kick is no good. So we'll keep it at 28-6 with 4:07 to play in the first quarter. Again, thanks for joining us on the Pittsburgh Central Catholic YouTube channel. I'm Brandon Rossai, joined
Central Catholic 29, Bethel
joined
Park
here
6.
as well by Kyle Templin. And also want to tell you as well about the class of 1968. Join your reunion celebrating this weekend. Not only is this class celebrating their reunion, the class is also celebrating their 3rd consecutive Viking Cup victory, leading all alumni classes in overall participation in the annual Viking match giving competition. They joined the class of 1995 as the only 3-peat winners of the Viking Cup. So 28-6 through the first 7 minutes and 53 seconds. We knew that these offenses were high-powered, and, well, we're seeing that on full display tonight.
Yeah, full display is no joke. I would have never thought we would have saw this much scoring, and the first quarter's not even over yet.
Kick is fielded by Petrus with a foot in the end zone, but not his whole body was in the end zone, so he's able to field it out. Gets to the 17-yard line where he's brought down on the play by Maceo Watkins
Brought down by Gavin Stanek.
and Gavin Stanek. 1st and 10 from the 17 for Bethel.
Well, Bethel Park now, and see how they come back out and respond at this point.
Well, they got a 5-receiver set. Pfeiffer alone in the backfield. Lobs one deep to Petrus. Catches it in stride up to the 48-yard line.
That's a good response.
Pass complete to Petrus.
The 31-yard gain through the air. Pfeiffer to
Brought down
Petrus.
by Deasy.
They found that soft spot that they've been looking for, have Bethel Park. And Pfeiffer, just like that, just a shade under 100 yards passing. Handoff, Javon Moore, left side.
Moore, the ball carrier.
Gets across the central end of the field, brought down by Cole Sullivan.
Gain of 4 on the play.
2nd down, 7. Moore, the ball carrier again. Moore has the first down. keeps the legs churning, and Moore with a powerful run to the Central 32.
Brought down by Colson Gatton.
Yeah, Moore with an extra couple of yards there at the end by keeping the legs running there. Definitely a statement.
So 28-6 your score. Central in the lead over Bethel Park. Blackhawks driving, though. They have it 32 yards away from pay dirt. 1st and 10. A couple of good runs by the Blackhawks. Handoff Moore. Up the middle, has the smallest of creases, but he exploits it. Gets brought down by Anthony Specca at the 28-yard line. Gain of 4. Juwan Moore has been easily the workhorse for Bethel Park, running the ball at least. 9 carries, 61 yards, but does not have a touchdown. That touchdown was a 37-yard strike from Pfeiffer to Petrus. They go 5 wide again.
2nd and 6 from the 28.
And Central nearly bit on the bait, but they get back.
Yeah, that was close there for Central.
Pfeiffer, left side to Petrus, and he's swallowed up. You got 2 defenders, Gatton and Thomas, swarming under Petrus, and defensive coordinator Jay Bell certainly has a new game plan, and that's stop number 1.
Yeah, Gatton, it looked like, had a beat on that ball. I'm actually surprised he wasn't a little bit more aggressive there, but it looked like his goal was just to stop the receiver.
Gain of 4, 3rd down and 2.
Well, that's step 1. Pfeiffer under center, handoff Moore. Moore is stopped.
Wow.
It's the future Michigan Wolverine, Cole Sullivan.
Wow. And I've watched Cole Sullivan play since he started here, and I've watched him play basketball, and he is a beast underneath the hoop, and he just completely showed that right there on that play.
Hawks up 1.
And 4th down coming up. Pfeiffer can't get the extra 5, so he'll get the play call in from head coach and offensive coordinator Phil Pekich. Clock now at 1 minute and counting in the first, and Pekich is going to use a timeout. Clock is at 56 seconds, 28-6. Central Catholic leads.
It's probably a good timeout there. It looked like there was some confusion there on the field. It's a good time to tell you about the Viking bookstore. Shop the Viking bookstore online. We've added brand new gear, including hats, sweatshirts, polo shirts, and more. Visit www.centralcatholichs.com/bookstore to shop.
And emphasizes high quality projects delivered on time and within budget.
Again, thanks for joining us here.
Visit PuglianoConstruction.com.
On the Pittsburgh Central Catholic YouTube page. And 28-6 your score, with Peyton Wayner leading the way with 3 touchdowns, 2 of them through the air, 1 of them going to Vernon Settles, another going to Jacob Sassig, also ran for a 26-yard touchdown. The other score was a 92-yard opening kickoff return by Xavier Thomas. 4th down and 2 for Bethel Park. Pfeiffer looking right the whole way. Pass is out of the reach of the tight end, Clancy Ori. He had Anthony Specca draped all over him. And it's a turnover on down. Central takes over from the 25-yard line. And now, given the way that Central's offense has been clicking, it's not unrealistic to consider that Central might be able to take it 75 yards and 51 ticks.
No, I wouldn't question that at all. I mean, it's very realistic for that to happen. I'm actually questioning that call by Bethel there. That was an interesting call there for a 4th down offense.
1st and 10 from the 25. Wayner fakes the handoff. Screen pass complete to Sullivan. Sullivan has the first down, keeps the balance, and backpedals to the 39-yard line.
Brought down by Adi Mader.
So very quick here offense, as usual.
From their own
From the 39, Wayner, handoff Faulkner. And Faulkner has some room to the 30.
And that's
Faulkner is going to score.
Wow. Wow.
61 yards, but there's a flag back in midfield.
Oh.
61 yards. Flag on the play.
As it stands, it's a 61-yard score.
Offense number 55, 10-yard penalty.
Oh.
But the left guard, Tanner Fuchs, gets called for a holding.
Well,
and that'll negate the touchdown.
that is unfortunate because that was a beautiful run.
I'm sure we'll see that on Faulkner's highlight tape regardless.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. That was a beautiful run.
Now, I guess if there's some solace here, you have 1st and 9 instead of 1st and 20.
It's true.
One less yard to deal with, but at the same time, Faulkner really wants that 6 back.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Man in motion, Faulkner. Wayner. It's a reverse. Goes to Vernon, settles.
Wow.
Settles to the right side. Weaves his way through. Stutter steps at the 20 and gets bumped down at the 18-yard line.
He was that close. That close. He could see it. He could see it, and that stutter step is what did him in.
Central is at the 18. It's a 42-yard reverse.
Come on, Chain Gang, get down there.
And Wayner to Sullivan. No need for the chain gang. It's a touchdown for Central Catholic. 18 yards. Wayner to Cole Sullivan. It's Wayner's 4th touchdown of the first quarter and his 3rd through the air.
I can't even believe it's the first quarter. It feels like it's the end of the first half. It's crazy.
Peyton Wayner showing why he's considered one of the best in the WPIAL. Billy Letch's kick is good.
Oh, good.
7 seconds left. It's 35-6. Who had that on the bingo card coming into tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't. I knew that this was going to be a high-scoring game, but I could have never predicted this in the first quarter.
I mean, we knew Central's offense was high-powered, but
yeah,
if they aren't turning heads in the WPIAL after tonight, I don't know what people are sleeping on or expecting any more of.
I mean, they're ranked number 7 in Pennsylvania and number 4 in the 6A division, but I got a feeling that they're definitely going to move up a ton after this game. Yeah, this is quite the performance.
The Viking scoring drive covered 75 yards in 5 plays, capped off by an 18-yard Wayner to Sullivan touchdown pass, and took 44
Quite the
seconds
performance.
off the clock.
I mean, we talked about 51 seconds to go 75 yards.
Yeah.
Coach Lehmeyer took me up on that offer. I
Yeah,
guess.
it's no joke. I mean, and that's no small feat for any team. And this team was able to do that with a penalty charged against them, no less. So, yeah.
Billy Leck to kick off.
Yeah, this offense is extremely confident in what they can do in a short period of time, and they've proved that.
Lech end over end. This will go to the end zone for a touchback. 1st and 10, Bethel Park coming up from the 25.
Into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, if you're Bethel Park at this point, I mean, and you're on the sidelines, you have to consider
Alumni, if you are over 21,
you really have to consider,
Central Catholic, enjoy a cigar,
you know, grinding this game out. I mean, it's only the first quarter, man. I got to keep reminding myself of that. You got to get through this first. You got to get through this first half. Get yourself into the locker room and hope that you can regroup.
And again, you must be 21. Go to centralalumni.com
this is tough.
For Central, it's great if you're
Yeah,
from the Viking
Central,
standpoint.
yeah.
But here's a good run for Bethel Park coming up. It's Javon Moore picking up a first down and more.
Yeah, for Central Catholic, it's great.
As we end the first quarter with a 20-yard run up to the 40. And at the end of one, 35-6. Stay tuned on the Pittsburgh Central Catholic YouTube page. We'll be right back after these messages.
Participation in the annual Viking match giving competition. They joined the class of
We're back to start the
95
second quarter
as the
from
only
Gessling
three
Stadium on the campus of
competitors
Carnegie
of the
Mellon
Viking
University,
match. Let's
Bethel
hear it
Park
for
with
the
a first and
class
10
of
from the 40-yard
1968.
line. And we look at the stats from the first quarter, and obviously what jumps out is 35-6. Handoff to Ryan Petrus on the sweep. Petrus picks up 7 as he's tag teamed by Specca alongside Watkins. Second down and 3. But really, both teams have had their way offensively. Bethel Park, 179 yards of offense.
It's a good offensive first quarter.
80 rushing, 99 passing. And now make it 87 rushing with that 7-yard gain by Petrus. Handoff, Moore, and Moore. Thought he was swallowed up at first, escapes the first 2 waves, and then is swallowed up by Maceo Watkins Jr.
Yeah, good hard run in there by Moore to stay on his feet.
So call it a loss of 3, 3rd down and 6. Central's offense, 19 plays, 219 yards of offense, 115 rushing, 104 passing. And, of course, Peyton Wayner, 7 of 9 passing, 104 yards, 3 touchdowns. And rushing, 3 carries, 46 yards, and a score. Pfeiffer gets away, and a pass wide open, Javon Moore. He's tiptoeing down the sideline, loses his balance, and falls down the 15-yard line. He just slipped right past the Viking defense.
Yeah, and he was, unfortunately, he lost his balance there, or else he would have been in the end zone there. He had daylight there, and unfortunately, that would have been a touchdown. That was a crazy play. Pfeiffer completely moved out of the way of the defender in the backfield there.
That was a 39-yard pass completion. Here's Moore trying to take it the rest of the way.
Ooh.
And he's leveled, wow, and driven backwards by Gavin Stanek, the senior, who caught a touchdown pass against the Blackhawks last year in what was a 31-22 victory for Central Catholic, the only loss Bethel Park suffered in the regular season last year. Ball is placed at the 12. Pfeiffer hands off, and it's going to the right-hand side for a Bethel Park touchdown. That is Javon Moore. Correction, that is David Dennison. His first carry is a score from 12 yards out, and Bethel Park inches closer.
That's exactly what Bethel Park needed. I mean, it doesn't really get them back into the game per se, but it definitely is confidence for their sideline because that was a quick score, and it gets them back, confidently as far as the offense goes because the offense, like we showed, they're having a good game.
And Bethel going for 2. Pfeiffer flip pass to Ori, and it's read well at the line of scrimmage. And the 2-point conversion is no good. Stop made by Cole Sullivan. And the score remains 35-12. Pittsburgh Central Catholic just under 10 minutes ago until halftime. But Bethel's offense not looking too shabby either.
No, like I said, they're having a good game as far as stats. It's just that Central's been keeping them out of the end zone, and until now. I mean, it's offensively on the stat sheet they're looking good, and that's what the coaches have to keep telling these kids is that the plays are working. It's just they're not getting in the end zone. And on Central side, that's all they're doing is getting in the end zone.
Well, not only that, but it seems like too, and this is of course the tempo, which helps with a guy with the offensive mind that Coach Lehmeyer has.
Yeah.
But Central, they're getting in the end zone quickly. I mean, you get these 5-play drives that are lasting not even a minute because they're running a play every 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's the truth. At Bethel Park, it seems like their offense is more in the trenches, and Lehmeyer is playing his more in the air. It's more blitzkrieg. It's quick strikes, and that's how he wants to play it, and that's excellent, for what's going on, and that's how he's taking control of this game.
Wetzel with a squib kick up the middle, and it's fielded by Deasy. Deasy's going to almost take it. He's tripped up at the 30-yard line by the kicker, Wetzel. But boy, oh boy, would Joey Deasy up here flip a gasket if he scored there in the kickoff.
I'll tell you what, he was, it was like a few. If he wouldn't have gotten tripped up, it was nothing but daylight in front of him. That was definitely going to be a score. It was all end zone there.
I mean, there wasn't much separating him from the end zone, but now we have 1st and 10 Vikings at the 31-yard line. Wayner, pass complete. Peter Gonzalez, haven't called his name a whole lot, but really you haven't had to rely on him too much. Brought down on the play by Brian McGuire, the defensive end. And it's 2nd down and 1.
No, and keep an eye on Gonzalez, too. We haven't had to call his name much, but at 6'3", he's a...
Flag on the play as Wayner throws incomplete, bounces off of Gonzalez. He was defended in the end zone by the corner, Jack Bruckner, but the flag came at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Gonzalez is a sleeper out there on the field. That's for sure.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the offense, number 63. 15-yard penalty.
Ooh, ouch.
That's the center, Sam Brackney, getting assessed.
That's a tough call. Tough break there for the offense. Definitely slows down Central Catholic here.
But I'm sure Central's going to snap the ball within 3 seconds of the clock getting started anyway. The ball is currently spotted at the 34. They're debating on whether they move it back from there. They don't. So it's 2nd down and 13 from the 34-yard line. Wayner gives Faulkner back to Settles. And all sorts of trickeration. Wayner to Sullivan. Incomplete.
And another flag late.
Wayner's pass intended for Sullivan. Incomplete.
In the backfield.
Yeah, flag was thrown at the 29-yard line, but Coach Lehmeyer digging deep into the bag of tricks.
I got to feel like that might be another unsportsmanlike for how late that flag was thrown in the backfield there.
But great play nonetheless by the back safety, KK Kua, the Hawaiian.
That penalty is declined. 3rd down. Wait for my whistle.
So it's 3rd down after the declined penalty with
3rd and 13 for the Vikings.
illegal man downfield. Trips to the far side of the field from where we're sitting. And Wayner looking over the middle. Pass is caught beyond the 1st down marker.
Wayner's pass complete
to Sanier Brooks. Make that Sasic. Jacob Sasic to the 15 for a 1st down.
Yeah, great job by Wayner there, scanning the field and finding the open receiver there. He was looking downfield, but then he saw the open receiver.
1st and 10 from the 15. Wayner Screen pass, complete. Gonzalez.
Winner's pass complete.
Touchdown, Vikings.
Gonzalez, who takes it for the Central Catholic touchdown.
Peter Gonzalez, the future Penn State Nittany Lion from 15 away, scores the 6th touchdown of the night for Central Catholic. Wayner has thrown 4 tutties tonight.
Yeah, he's been off the charts good. I mean, this is a career game for him.
And just to think, he's only got one offer. Yeah. That's from St. Francis. And college coaches, if you're watching, especially at the Division I level, offer this man now. As Lech kicks it through.
The extra point is good.
42-12. Pittsburgh Central
The score,
Catholic.
Central Catholic 42, Bethel
8:51
Park
to
12.
play in the first half. And not to mention, too, the Bethel touchdown was scored just a shade under 10 minutes left in the quarter. So that drive was 1:06. Think about that, and that's with the penalties.
Yeah, that is with the penalties. You're right. And again, I mean, there's just nothing that can slow down this Central Catholic offense, including themselves.
Right.
I mean, it is insane how fast this offense moves and with precision. I mean, those penalties, I mean, one of them was an unsportsmanlike, and you thought that would have slowed them down. You had an ineligible receiver downfield. It's crazy to me how quick this offense moves, and this is in high school, no less.
Right.
And Peyton Wayner is at the helm. And again, like you said, it amazes me that he only has one offer, that's there for him. This is a kid that can definitely run offenses like this at a complex level. I mean, and not only that, I've seen his leadership on and off the field. It's top notch.
Lech to kick off again. And this one, a line drive kick that'll trundle into the end zone for a touchback. Bethel Park will have it 1st and 10 from the 20.
Lex kickoff sails into the end zone for a touchback.
It's a great time to bring up the class of 1968 55th reunion at Central Catholic High School. Join us in welcoming the class of 1968 celebrating their 55th reunion this weekend. Not only is the class celebrating their reunion, the class is also celebrating their 3rd consecutive Viking Cup, leading all alumni classes in overall participation in the annual Viking Watch match-giving competition. They joined the class of 1995 as the only 3-peat winners of the Viking Cup.
1st and 10, Bethel from the 20. Here's Moore. Moore breaking through tacklers, pushes a man down across the 30-yard line. It's a 1st down for the Blackhawks again. Moore has had a pretty darn good game. It's just been quiet because his team's down 42-12, but Moore is up to 14 carries and 93 yards by my count.
Yeah, great stat line there for Moore, and some of those have been some pretty hard runs, but he's also had some pretty good wide open running there too.
Pfeiffer, back to pass. Throws a deep ball to Petrus, and just a little too tall. And that brings up 2nd down.
A little bit too far for him there, but that was a cannon of a throw.
I mean, I've come to expect that from Pfeiffer. You look at the frame, 6'6", 195, checks all the boxes when it comes to his physical frame. And his stats, I mean, the stats last year, we talked about it earlier, they've been impressive, and tonight he's had a pretty good game as well, 6 of 10 for 138 yards and a touchdown against what many would consider, especially after tonight, the #1 team in the WPIAL, as Moore gets back to the line as he's swallowed up by an army of Vikings led by Sullivan and Ty Uhas. And it's 3rd down.
Moore on the carry, brought down by Thrift.
Also Thrift in there as well. 3rd down and 9 from the 32-yard line.
From the Bethel Park 32.
What I've been also impressed with both teams is that they've both been able to take care of the football, both Bethel and Central Catholic, playing not mistake-free, but they keep the mistakes at a minimum. But there's a mistake there right on cue. Pfeiffer throws incomplete to Petrus.
Yeah, Pfeiffer's been rushed 2 times now there, and I feel like he's got a little extra zip on the ball whenever he does. Maybe that's the key to getting him.
So Pfeiffer in punt formation for Bethel Park, and of course when you have the punter in punt formation or the quarterback in punt formation, then you got to be on the lookout for some trickeration.
Absolutely.
But you have Thomas and Settles back deep. Pfeiffer gets the punt away. It's a good one. 43-yard punt fielded at the 25 by Thomas. Thomas gets a block. That'll be a block in the back.
Yeah.
As Thomas cuts back, gets up to the 45-yard line. A clear as day block in the back on the freshman, Roman Thompson.
Yeah, that's about as textbook as it gets.
So Central will be backed up. Should be from.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 21 of the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Should be from around the 20-yard line with 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And also, too, something we haven't touched upon yet, this is a great chance for Central to kind of flex its muscles before entering section play. You got 3 section games in the next 3 weeks. Mount Lebanon next week, the big one at North Allegheny in 2 weeks, and then returning home in 3 weeks' time against Canon Mac. So really, this is kind of a game now where you can put the pieces together if you're on the Central Catholic coaching staff, as Amari Shields spins his way free and dives for the first down across the 35 to the 36.
Yeah, kept the wheels running there, got himself some extra yardage.
Amari Shields, the ball carrier.
And Central quickly.
Gain of 11,
Weiner
16 on the play.
back to Sullivan,
First down,
pass
Viking.
complete. Sullivan extends for a first down, gain of 11.
Weiner's pass complete to Cole Sullivan.
All 4 receivers that have caught passes for Central have scored a
Gain of
touchdown.
11, first
Wow.
down Vikings.
Hand off Faulkner, make that Shields.
Amari
Shields up
again
to
on
the
carry.
45-yard line, follows the middle of his offensive line. And there's some big boys on that front for
Brought down by
Central Catholic.
Adi Mader.
I mean, when your smallest lineman 6'2", 250, that's probably a good sign that you got some beef on the
Yeah,
line.
they definitely got some beef up front. That's been a staple of Central Catholic for a number of years now.
2nd and 2. Shields spins away from trouble in the backfield, has the first,
Shields, the ball
and gets to the
carrier.
39.
Boy, they are keeping that chain gang busy.
Brought down by Mader and Randall Bergia.
1st and 10 from the 39. And a flag before the snap, maybe moving a little too quickly.
Could be.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So 1st and 15 now from the 44-yard line.
So a rare misstep here by the offense.
But really, Coach Lehmeyer coming into Central Catholic, he landed in a great system with,
1st and 15 for
you
the
got a
Vikings.
3-year starting quarterback that knows the system. He's the only 2,000-yard passer in regular season Central Catholic history.
Right.
As Shields
Shields on the
gets
carry.
back to the original line and an additional yard, where he's brought down by Nick Hauerlach.
Picked up by Hauerlach.
So really, you couldn't ask for a better quarterback to run this no-huddle, quick-tempo offense for Central. Weiner looking deep. Man wide open. It settles. And it's a touchdown. The 5th passing touchdown for Weiner. His 6th score of the night. And Central goes up even more.
Wow, the closest guy to Settles was about 10 yards away. That was a beautifully drawn up play.
Hayden Wainer had 5 touchdowns against Woodland Hills 2 weeks ago.
For the whole game.
He's got 5 touchdowns in the first half. 6 touchdowns if you include the rushing score. As that one covered 38 yards. Lex kick is good. And it's 49-12. Central Catholic with 5:17 to go in the first half. I mean, this Central team, we know about the Power 5 recruits. And we figured that Central would have the advantage, but I don't think anybody was expecting it to be this lopsided.
No, and just to put it into perspective, I mean, Bethel Park is a 5A school.
And a good 5A school.
Exactly. Like, they're not coming in. Like, St. Ignatius that they beat last week, you know, that's a small school, unfortunately, in Ohio. You know, and so they beat them 47-6, and they really had to lay off, you know, in the second half in that game. And so what they're doing here against Bethel Park is really a shock, you know, to me. And I've been calling Central Catholic football here for a while, and it's amazing to me to see this offense this high-powered and this juiced. I haven't seen an offense like this for Central Catholic in a while, and that's not any knock on any of the Terry Totten teams or anything. It's just, it's amazing like how fast this offense is running and how precision it's running.
Kick into the end zone for a touchback. Bethel will start again from the 20-yard line. And, yeah, I think, you know, we figured it'd be a new-look Central team, but honestly, with the way this team has been constructed, it's probably the best-case scenario.
It really is. I mean, you do have a lot of seniors on this team. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, so you have a lot of guys that are coming into their own, and they have a lot of experience. But I would have thought with a new coach coming in, new offense, I mean, they did run a fast-paced offense last year, and it was a little quick and everything like that, but I've never seen anything like this for a Central Catholic team. So, yeah, I thought that maybe there would be like a little bit of transition, but this is as well-oiled as I've ever seen.
Pfeiffer's pass complete to Petrus, out of bounds at the 24 for a gain of 4. Wayner's stat line, by the way, in case you were wondering, 12 of 16, 177 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's thrown more touchdowns than incompletions.
That's like a Madden stat line.
Yeah. When you're playing on rookie mode.
Right. That's insane. Yeah, that's insane. It's an insane stat line.
Pfeiffer in trouble and just chucks it away.
And again, we talked a lot about the offense, and the defense has been doing a great job also. You know, again, they've been getting to Pfeiffer, which has been the key. You know, they've been hurrying him a lot. They haven't sacked him, but they've been hurrying him a lot. And even on the plays like where there have been touchdowns, you know, the defense has been great on the receivers. It's just Pfeiffer has been that good on his throws.
Right. And the Central defense is not making it easy for him, especially that defensive line. Pfeiffer's pass way overthrown for Petrus.
Yeah, I think Pfeiffer is getting frustrated now.
Well, that was a case, too, where he just wasn't on the same page. Pfeiffer's stat line is not bad. It's 7 of 14 for 142 yards and a touchdown. Ryan Petrus, the leading receiver, 4 catches, 76 yards.
Yeah, not bad for a first half.
Right. I mean, if you carry that over in the second half, you're looking at a 280-yard game.
Yeah, again.
And we got movement on this near side receiver, Bruckner. And
false start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Pfeiffer was saying that Larry Moon, who's over on this near side, matched up against Bruckner, caused Bruckner to jump, but the officials did not agree with that. So back Bethel Park up 5 yards.
Yeah, I think you're going to start seeing a lot more frustration on Bethel Park's side here.
Pfeiffer with a good kick, and this will go out of bounds. or not. It stays in and then rolls out at around the 35-yard line. That was a tremendous punt.
It was a great punt.
That was a 46-yard punt, if my math serves me correct. It's out of the 35.
That's about right. Yeah, that's a great punt.
But now for Bethel, the question defensively has to be, can you stop Central? Because Central, on every single one of its possessions, has gone right down the field. And not just methodically, but bing, bang, boom, you're in within, I mean, the longest drive had to be 2 minutes.
Yeah, it really has been that precision. I mean, it's almost like a Showtime offense. I mean, it really is something else.
Wayner, Statue of Liberty play. Throwing over the middle. He's got Sasic, and it's caught at the 30-yard line.
Wow.
Wayner goes over 200 yards passing, but Central flips the field to the 31.
Yeah, they're wearing out the chain gang.
They're wearing everybody out. First and 10, handoff Faulkner up the middle to the 26. Brought down by Hauerlach. And it's 2nd and 5 from the 26. Wayner, left side, pass complete, settles, has some room, settles, tiptoes, and is bumped out of bounds at the 6, make that the 5-yard line.
Yeah, got caught off balance there, and if he wouldn't have been caught off balance, that would have been another quick score for Central. I mean, he definitely had a lot of daylight on that side, but he just was bumped off balance.
Vikings from the 5.
First and goal from the 5-yard line. Now it's Sanier Brooks who takes the handoff up the middle, but clogged right up in that middle of that offensive line. First man on the scene was Nathan Teets. It's a gain of 1 for the freshman. I'm going to see if I have my passing yard stat right.
2nd and goal from the 4.
Peyton Wayner now 14 of 18 for 232 yards. Make that 252 yards. Wayner keeps, and he scores again.
Wow.
The Central Catholic touchdown.
That's his 7th touchdown of the first half total.
You know, last time I saw a performance like this from a quarterback, I mean, I'd have to go all the way back to calling games for MSA, and that was...
I mean, for a Central quarterback, when was the last time this happened? This has to be some sort of record.
I can't think of it for Central, and the last time I was trying to think of, oh man, when was the last time I saw a quarterback score more than 6 touchdowns?
The kick is blocked by Petrus.
Been a while.
Lex kick gets blocked by Ryan Petrus, and the extra point is no good. 3:19 to play in the second quarter. It is 55-12, Central Catholic. I mean, Central's had some great quarterbacks. You know, Wayner, in terms of statistics, his regular seasons the last couple of years have been better than all of them. And that includes, you know, you got J.J. Cosentino, you got Troy Fisher, just to name some recent ones. Tino Sinceri.
Yeah,
of course,
Sinceri.
you can't forget about Dan Marino.
No, Dan Marino is, legend.
But when was the last time this has happened? I don't think it has.
We would have to do some real research on that. I don't know if a quarterback has ever scored 7 touchdowns in a Central Catholic game. I really don't.
Let alone quarterback. I don't know if it's ever happened by any position. I mean, 7 touchdowns in one game is just absurd.
Yeah. So the last time I think I remember calling a high school football game where a quarterback scored more than 6 touchdowns was Terrell Pryor.
That makes sense.
And that was forever ago.
That was his senior season was the 2007 team, arguably the best team in one of the best teams in WPIL history.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like a man among boys.
Billy
I mean,
to kick off for the Vikings.
I mean, of course, we know about Carlos Zofko and WPIL Insider. He says Terrell Pryor is the best WPIL athlete of all time. It's hard to argue against that.
When I called that game, I'd never seen a player dominate that much in a game in my life. I'd never seen a player dominate that much in a game in my life. So yeah, it was something else. And yeah, like I said, watching Peyton Wainer here score this many touchdowns, this team is dominating. This team overall is just dominating. And like I said, against a team that is
they're going to be a contender.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
5A.
Bethel Park is going to be a major contender in 5A football.
UPMCSportsMedicine.com.
A handoff, Javon Moore. And he's brought down rather quickly. Making the stop was Carmen Petraglia, the defensive end, 6'1" senior. No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. And movement on the right side of the offensive line may have gotten a defensive lineman to jump. It was.
Number 56, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's Deron Goodwine.
Yeah, that's definitely something that Bethel Park's offense have been able to do with Central Catholic's defense here a few times.
Pfeiffer looking over the right side. Pass is hauled in by Jack Bruckner for a 1st down. Out of bounds at the 48.
For a Bethel Park 1st down.
Haven't called Jack Bruckner's name a whole lot, but a couple of big catches.
Blackhawks from their own
This one good for 22 yards.
Yeah, Pfeiffer definitely needed that. He definitely has needed some confidence here.
Pfeiffer, quick pass, broken up by Larry Moon.
Yeah, he had a beat on that as soon as he saw it. It was like he was tracking his eyes.
Larry Moon, the freshman, already holds some offers from major programs like Pitt, Penn State, and Maryland.
Broken up by Moon.
Well, you can see why right there.
I mean, he was a phenom back in his middle school days and his youth days playing. He's from Aliquippa and then played his middle school games over at Central Valley last year. Heard all about this kid, that he's going to be the next big thing in the WPIAL. And Pfeiffer flushed out, throwing deep. Pass is caught, and into the end zone is Mitchell Paschal. It's a 52-yard touchdown for Bethel Park.
The Bethel Park touchdown.
Great pass by Pfeiffer there on the run. He got flushed out of the pocket, and he actually threw that on a step. It's a great pass.
So now both quarterbacks have thrown over 200 yards. Pfeiffer, 9 of 16, 217 yards. And in the first reception for Mitchell Paschal. And Bethel's going to go for 2. The toss to the left side, he's in. That's Javon Moore getting in for the 2.
Javon Moore takes it for the 2-point conversion.
And makes the score 55-20. Central Catholic with 2:20 to go in the first half. The first half that never ends.
It never ends.
I mean, if we go over the scoring summary by now, we'll take you probably to the end of the half. But just know that there's been a lot of scoring and a lot of offense. And,
yeah.
On the statistics, the pass defense by Central Catholic hasn't been up to snuff, with now 198 yards given up to Woodland Hills, 239 to St. Ignatius, and now 217 in the first half to Bethel Park. Not going to matter too much in the long run. I mean, it is a 35-point game.
Right.
But, if Central wants to compete with some of the top dogs in the state of Pennsylvania, then you got to clean up the pass defense, because some teams, especially in conference play, like your North Alleghenies and your
Yeah,
Mount
NA.
Lebanons, they'll exploit that.
Yeah, NA especially.
Yeah, Mount Lebanon hasn't been running the ball too much or passing the ball too much. They've only thrown for 100 yards through the first couple of games, but North Allegheny has had a ton of passing yards thanks to their quarterback Logan Kushner, who we'll see in a couple of weeks, as Colson Gatton, the sophomore, who's already got some offers as well, fields the kick at the 38.
And the rivalry between Central Catholic and NA runs deep, so that is going to be a huge game.
I mean, in terms of 6A, that's the game. I mean, if you look at 6A, it's Central, NA, and then realistically it's everybody else.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how it is. You know, it's that way, you know, across the board for the sports.
Wayner, flushed out of the pocket, rolls out, thought about dumping it, flag behind the play as Wayner has all sorts of room, and Wayner stutter steps out of bounds with a monstrous gain up across the 25-yard line.
Yeah, flag back at the 34 though, so.
Holding, offense number 63. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
That was a 38-yard gain by Peyton Wayner, but it'll be called back.
Yeah, unfortunately on that one, called back. But again, it's hard to believe that this is going to slow down this offense.
You can only delay it. You can't seem to stop it, at least the way that Central's playing right now.
This will be another precision strike drawn up.
Wayner, screen pass, complete. Vernon settles, and he's pushed out of bounds by KK Kua.
Wayner to settles.
And looks like he lost a couple yards, up to the 25. If I'm not mistaken, that's the first negative yard play for Central tonight. That was a loss of 3. Wayner over the middle. Settles has it. Out of bounds at the 30.
Wayner's pass complete to Vernon Settles.
And that's about where Wayner went out of bounds earlier, so he basically just made up that pull play.
Yeah. That was a 48-yard gain. Settles now over 100 yards receiving.
First and 10 Vikings from the Bethel Park 27.
Settles 4 catches, 130 yards. Wayner, pass to the left side, complete. There's a flag at the line as it's hauled in by Sasic, brought down to the 25.
Brought down by number 10, Jack Bruckner.
There is no foul on the play. Second down.
Okay. So that's a gain of 2. Wayner just needs 1 yard to go over 300 yards passing. I have a hunch he's going to get it.
Yeah.
Handoff, Elijah Faulkner, left side. Faulkner escapes the line. Brought down at the 6.
On the carry.
Yeah, a little off balance there at the end, or he might have just punched that in.
First down for Central and goal to go.
First and goal Vikings from the 6. Gain of 19 on the last play.
And Wayner fakes the handoff, looking to the end zone and just throws it away. Flag in the end zone.
Few flags.
Wayner's pass incomplete.
Obviously just throwing it away with Ori bearing down.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
So it won't hurt anything in the long run. 1:04 to play in the first half.
Then go from the
Ball is at the 11. Wayner gives Faulkner up the middle, and he can't wiggle away
Elijah Faulkner
from
on the carry.
Jovian Smith. He's brought down at the 7. Make that, yeah, that is the 7-yard line.
Gain of 5.
Yeah, good run in there.
Second and goal, Vikings. From
Ball's at the
Bethel Park
6. Faulkner up the middle, powering forward. He's in. Touchdown, Vikings.
For the Central Catholic touchdown.
Faulkner's first touchdown of the night. This one from 6 yards away. And Central has a 60-piece in the first half.
Wow. Wow.
We've had a total of 81 points by both teams combined in the first half.
Yeah.
That'll drive defensive coordinators a bit mental. As Lex kick is good.
Lex extra point is good.
62 to
The score,
20.
Central Catholic 62,
leads.
Bethel Park 20.
With 36 ticks to talk in the first half. And, well, we're going to need a lot of hydration at the end of this first half because, again, this first half,
Everybody's going to need hydration.
in real time, it's been an hour and 25 minutes.
I feel like the chain gang over there needs oxygen.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like I feel for them all night. Normally that's a good gig.
Right. Well, not tonight. I don't know who's busier, the Chang gang or the guy operating the scoreboard.
The Central Catholic Marching Band, which is comprised of
Yeah,
students from
like they're
Oakland
definitely
Catholic
earning
and
their
Central
money
Catholic.
tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you might want to consider getting paid overtime.
Yeah, no
This
kidding.
game. So Billy Leck to kick off.
Billy Leck to kick off.
Petrus is back.
Moore and Petrus deep.
And the whistle blows it dead before the kick can go. Again, we thank you for joining us on the Central Catholic YouTube page. We're back in action in 3 weeks.
In position for the kick. Free kick.
The officials weren't in position. Yeah, they're tired.
You can blame the Central offense just going at such a breakneck speed.
Lex kick fielded in the end zone for a touchdown.
First string still out.
Bethel Park will take over first and
Probably
10
just to
from
finish
their own
out the
20.
first half. Let's see the stats. Central's offense in this first half, 490 total yards.
Wow.
As Pfeiffer and Bethel Park will just lick their wounds and take this 42-point deficit into halftime. Now, the Bethel offense has not had a bad game. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I mean, if it's against anyone else,
Yeah.
I'd consider it a win. But the problem is Central's offense is so loaded that it's basically just a wasted effort by the offense. And now defensively, you got to come up with a game plan to slow down Central's offense if you even see the first string in the second half. I mean, it'd be hard to.
I don't know how you play it
Yeah,
if you're the coach.
I find it hard to believe that Central would play the first string in the second half when you already put up 62 and you're up 42. But crazier things have happened.
Sure.
So nonetheless, we'll step aside here on the Pittsburgh Central Catholic YouTube page. We thank you for joining us. At the half, it's Pittsburgh Central Catholic 62 and Bethel Park 20. Stay tuned after these messages.
What does it mean to be connected? At Central Catholic, being connected takes on a deeper meaning. Since 1927, these hallowed hallways have been responsible for connecting young men and forging everlasting values, acting as runways to greater destinations. Echoing with tradition, the Central Catholic classrooms tell stories about generations of young men challenging the status quo. Here, being connected means being part of something much bigger. It means being in tune with faith and discovering new ways to change the world. At Central Catholic, being connected means being part of a brotherhood. Men who may come from different backgrounds and have different interests, but men who share a fundamental connection: the Central Catholic connection.
Like, a good bailout shot for you is if you just pick a central player and just follow them. Like, try to have it.
Please stand up and clap along as the Blackhawk Marching Band performs their signature drill. Hot time at Bethel Victory, a Bethel Park tradition for over 50 years. The Bethel Park High School Blackhawk Marching Band is under the direction of Chad Thompson, Associate Director Jeff Bell, Assistant Directors Zach Cable and Keith Bourne, Event Director Stacy Dolman, and Major Director Jan McAgoose. Our Student Director is Justin Mitch, Special Events Coordinator is Lucy Heckler, Head Majorette Amber Kuss, Head Beckett's Megan D. Haven and Lacey Scheidler, and Drum Captains Paul Baronic, Megan Huey, and Tyler Kramer. Thank you for your kind attention.
The Central Catholic Viking Marching Band is proud to present its 2023 halftime show. This year's performance features music from the Beatles, including I Wanna Hold Your Hand, She Loves You, Can't Buy Me Love, and I Saw Her Standing There. The Central Catholic Viking Marching Band is comprised of students from Central Catholic and Oakland Catholic High Schools and is under the direction of Joe Wilson, Assistant Director Carrie Wilson, drumline instructors Paul Scott and Drew Pushko, and color guard instructor Emily Kleitz. The band is led today by Senior Drum Major Finn Canary and Junior Drum Major Christopher Cuss. We hope that you enjoyed tonight's performance. Thank you for watching.
If your 8th grade son is
Fans, we welcome you back to Gessling Stadium on the campus of Carnegie Mellon University. Central Catholic leading Bethel Park at the half, 62 6A conference action. Canon-McMillan shuts out Seneca Valley 38-0. And Mount Lebanon, who Central Catholic will face next week, they got a scare on the road at Moon, but they held off the Tigers 20-17. That did Mount Lebanon. And some other scores NA leads McDowell 29-17 at the end of 3. North Hills leads Gateway at the end of 3, 19-0. Midway through the fourth quarter, Penn Trafford 28, Woodland Hills 26. And the big one, here's the score between Penn Hills and Pine Richland. Penn Hills leads by a score of 26-17. Julian Duggar has had a phenomenal game for Penn Hills. And he went in for another score for the Indians. So that's where we're at right now to begin the second half for Central Catholic. Kicking off, Billy Leck, as Bethel Park will receive the second half kickoff, down by 42. Running clock is in effect as Petrus kicks it, or fields the kick from the end zone. So looking at the halftime stats, firstly for Bethel Park's offense, in the first half, rushed for 113 yards. Tanner Pfeiffer threw for 217 yards. So give him 330 total yards of offense in that first half. That's about just under 10 yards per play, which again is not bad.
No.
But
No.
the Central offense has just had a field day, for lack of a better term, as the handoff goes to Javon Moore, left side, and Moore gets brought down at the 23-yard line to pick up a 3. Moore is now 3 yards away from the 100-yard plateau this evening. See mostly some reserves in for Central Catholic.
Yeah, again, I mean, if we were talking about any other game, 100 yards in the first half of a game for a running back, you would be saying, hey, that's a pretty good first half.
Right.
But unfortunately for, a 62-20 game, when you're on the losing end, it's not a good first half for you.
Pfeiffer's pass is too strong for Petrus. If he kept that in Petrus's vicinity, that would have been about a 77-yard touchdown, but instead it's third down. Pfeiffer in that first half, 9 of 16 passing. 2 touchdowns, one going to Ryan Petrus and another going to Mitch Paschal.
Yeah, I think when you're the Bethel Park coaches and you're going into that half, I think you just have to talk up the fact that, you scored 20 points and you put a lot of offense out there, and in any other situation, that would be a great first half.
So Bethel Park uses a timeout, just a minute 22 into the second half. Fans, the Letterman's Club golf outing is almost sold out. You can visit www.centralcatholichs.com/golf to learn more about registering for the outing and the available sponsorship opportunities. It will take place on Monday, October 9th at Edgewood Country Club, and we'll be honoring 2 legendary recently retired coaches, Terry Todd, class of 76, Corey O'Connor, class of 02. And the event this October is also remembering the memory of alumnus Michael Donahue, class of 1984. Established in 93, the Central Catholic High School Letterman's Club fosters lifelong friendships among Central Catholic alumni. The purpose of the Letterman's Club is to promote and support the mission of Central Catholic through its efforts and activities, working with the Alumni Association for the benefit of the various student programs in which a varsity letter can be earned by students. As Pfeiffer's pass goes to Ryan Petrus for a lengthy gain, first down up to midfield.
A great pass there by Pfeiffer. Yeah, and if you're Central, you go into that half, obviously there's a lot of great things to talk about, but there was definitely mistakes that you made in the first half.
And handoff, Javon Moore up the middle. Moore breaks it open,
there.
And Moore's going to take it 51 yards. Touchdown, Bethel Park.
Takes it 51 yards for the Bethel Park touchdown.
Still way out of reach are the Blackhawks, but Javon Moore provides a spark with a 51-yard score.
Yeah, definitely Central Catholic defense there, normally stingy on the run, but not in that instance there, giving up a huge run play there for a score.
And Bethel will go for 2 just to chase some points here. As Pfeiffer rolls out right, has all sorts of greenery, but throws incomplete. It was defended well by Maximilian Roman. And the 2-point conversion no good. Clock will stop due to the varsity rule after scores and timeouts and change of possession. We got 9:58 remaining in the third quarter, 62-26 Central Catholic leading. But again, a 51-yard score by Javon Moore shows Bethel Park still has some life left in them.
Yeah, I think at this point, when you're, like I said, coming in from a huge deficit like that there at the half, you know, if you're Bethel Park, you come back out and you just have to play this game like you would any other. You just have to come into it thinking to yourself, hey, you know, like we may not win this game, but we still have to keep putting points on the board, you know, and playing our offense, playing our defense the best way that we can. And then Central comes in, you know, same as usual, but obviously they're going to play less starters here in the second half. Give some second string guys some time, which is valuable for later in the season.
Some new returners back for Central Catholic. And it's a squib kick fielded at the 36-yard line. And some rustling going around. But it'll be fielded at the 36-yard line. First down coming up for the Vikings. We'll see if who they take out on offense.
Brendan Lloyd.
No Peyton Wayner this time. So if his night truly is complete, he finishes 7 total touchdowns scored. He went 17 of 21 for 299 yards and 5 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing scores. New quarterback for the Vikings is Jair Walls, As the handoff goes to Senior Brooks, his helmet goes flying off. He'll have to set out a play.
Senior Brooks, the ball carrier.
As he's wrestled to the ground by Christian Davis.
Jair Walls is now in at quarterback for the Vikings.
Walls, the junior, 6'1", 175.
Slower offense.
Well, anything would be slower compared to what we saw earlier.
From the 43 for the Vikings.
Central in the first half ran 41 plays, gained 490 yards.
41 plays.
As the handoff now goes to Jonathan Jones, and he has nowhere to go. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 8.
3rd down and 8 for the Vikings
from the 38.
Fans, we have the 50-50 number. It is 277-347 on the green ticket for $735.
Someone might want to pick up that 50-50.
Yeah, no joke.
Come to the press box.
Yeah, huge crowd on here tonight, and the 50-50 is worth quite a bit.
Yeah, good crowd from both sides. Of course, the one-sided bleachers. Some fans over on the lawn back there as Walls is stacked up in the backfield by Christian Davis.
Christian Davis.
And now a new punter. This is the first time that Central's had to punt this evening.
For the Vikings.
As Paul Kupiaris, to punt. Well, I guess if you're going to punt, it's when you're up by 36. Punt is away, end over end, fielded by Petrus at the 33-yard line. And Petrus takes a hard hit by Colson Gatton. First hit was put on by Jake Sasick. And Bethel Park will set up 1st and 10.
That's a crazy stat when you don't have to punt in the first half.
Right.
That's like Was it the year that Peyton Manning set the touchdown record? I remember he
That
had
was
more touchdowns than the Colts had to punt.
He was with the Broncos. That was in 2013.
Yeah, it was like he had more touchdown passes than the Broncos had to punt that year. It was a crazy stat.
I'd say that offense was pretty good.
Yeah, like this offense.
Yes.
Yeah, you know it's.
Well, when you gain almost 500 yards in the first half, I mean, I think it's a job well done.
Yeah. I mean, it's precision.
1st and 10 for the Blackhawks.
So for Central Catholic, I mean, we can pretty much put an end to the stat lines for all the first-string offensive starters. Javon Moore, though, still churning. He's still got a game to play, brought down at the 42. Moore, 19 carries now for 151 yards, a quietly strong game.
Yeah.
He's broken off a few big runs.
Yeah, very great game from him. You know, again, some of those have been hard yards, but some very big runs from him also.
Bethel's got mostly the first string in. Backwards pass to Ryan Petrus, left side. Petrus can't get the first as he's tracked down by Ashton Blatt.
Brought down by Ashton Blatt.
Petrus now over 100 yards receiving. Gets up to the 47, 6 catches, 104 yards.
3rd and 2 from the 47.
And that'll give Bethel Park a free first down. As the defensive lineman jumped.
Encroachment. Defense, number 48. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
Grady Papa, the guilty party there for Central. And it's 1st and 10, Bethel Park at the 48.
Yeah, and that's been something that you can't tell whether or not that's a hard count by Pfeiffer because that Bethel offense has been able to do that a few times to first string and second string here for Central defense.
Moore up the middle. Moore can't get the corner.
Moore on the carry.
Had a pretty decent run ready, but Senior Brooks and Maximilian Roman put a stop to it at the 40.
28, Maximilian Roman.
Yeah, Roman has been all over the field so far.
At that special teams tackle. Moore has the first.
2nd and 2 from the 40.
At the 36, gain of
Moore,
4 on the play.
Carrier. First down, Bethel Park.
Now, Javon Moore has a pretty unenviable task when it comes to starting a tailback now because you got to replace Austin Kai, who was the bell cow last year for Bethel Park. He's now at IUP. He was a pretty strong running back for the Blackhawks. Another encroachment will be called against Central Catholic. Bethel lost a lot of seniors from last year.
Yeah, they did.
And this is a Blackhawk team that there's a lot of juniors in the starting lineup. They're going to be a serious threat, not only this year, but next year as well, even more so. They only have 3 seniors starting on either side of the ball here tonight, does Bethel Park. So expect them to be in the conversation for the next couple of years.
Yeah, they did lose a lot last year, and Kai was a big loss for them. But, yeah, no, you're right. Moore has definitely picked it up for them.
You have Kai, you have Gavin Mole. As a pass complete to Petrus for a first down, out of bounds inside the 20 at the 19-yard line.
First down, Bethel Park.
Yeah, again, I mean, regardless of the performance tonight, you know, as we've said, Bethel Park is a serious player in the 5A division.
Yes.
From the Vikings,
you know,
19.
so just because of their performance tonight, nobody should sleep on Bethel Park in 5A.
In a very uber competitive Allegheny 6 conference, you have Peters Township, Upper St. Clair also in there. Pfeiffer from the 19-yard line throws a swing pass on the wheel route complete to Javon Moore, has the first. And he's taken down the sideline at the 8-yard line for another first down.
Yeah, that conference is always competitive down there.
Yeah, those teams, South Fayette, who's 2-0. They're out to a strong lead against Montour. Last I checked, it was 35-18.
First down,
So
Bethel
South
Park.
Fayette, I would
First and goal
assume,
from the
would be 3-0 after tonight. Moore, left side, and first hit, a big one put on.
Moore on the carry.
And looks like that was
Brought down
Dylan
in the
Deasy
backfield
on the
by
stop.
Connor Anderson.
Second down and goal from the 8. So I mean that Allegheny 8 or Allegheny 6 conference, you got a lot of teams competing for at the most 3 playoff spots, because don't forget in 5A they take 8 teams out of 3 conferences.
Yeah.
Handoff, Dennison up the middle. Dennison, his first carry was a score.
get
His
in?
second one
Waiting on the judge on the line there. Nope.
is short.
David Dennison on the carry.
David Dennison is short at the 1. He'll go again. Pfeiffer under center.
Third down.
He'll
and
try to
goal
keep
from
it
the
himself, and he's in easily for the Bethel Park touchdown.
Yeah, heads up play there by Pfeiffer, just lining it up in a hurry there and just calling his own number.
But when you got 6'6", 195 running behind a pretty strong offensive line, that's a result you're likely going to get. And Pfeiffer plows his way in for the score. And once again, the Blackhawks will chase points. Jumbo set, going to the line quickly. Toss to Dennison, right side. Dennison to the goal line. He's in. 2-point conversion is good. Clock at 1:13 remaining in the fourth. Or in the third quarter, excuse me. Central Catholic 62, Bethel Park 34. Feels like the fourth quarter.
Feels like it, yeah, no joke.
Bethel Park 34.
But nonetheless, that is where we stand with 1:13 remaining in the third quarter. And fans, help us celebrate the beginning of another school year at Central Catholic. Enjoy cigar and bourbon tasting in the quad as you mix and mingle with other Central Catholic alumni from across the decades on Saturday, September 23rd. That's 2 weeks from tomorrow from 6:30 to 8:30. RSVP is required, and attendees must be 21 or older to attend. If you're younger than 21, don't even think about it. And please go to www.centralalumni.com for information on how to register. So last year's alumni, don't even think about it.
That's right. That's right.
The older alumni, be our guest.
Bethel Park.
And a squib kick at the 30, make that the 41-yard line. Looks like Central got it.
Yeah, heads up play there, just diving on it.
Kickoff is recovered by 36. Jaden Gardenhire. Check that, Jack Neff.
So this offense comes out, and they're definitely a lot slower paced, waiting for the calls on the sidelines. You know, not as in tune as the other offense. But again, you know, this offense probably doesn't play together as often.
No.
So,
well, not only that, but a lot of these guys are underclassmen. Not all of them, but some of them probably don't get as much playing time as Walls completes the pass over on the near sideline to Aiden Nasiatka for no gain. Nasadka on the reception, no gain, second down.
yeah,
Second and 10 for the Vikings from
these guys getting the playing time now, though, is important because, again, like later in the season when these guys are going to need rest, the starters are going to need rest. That's what's important.
We're at the end of the third quarter. Central Catholic 62, Bethel Park 34. We'll be right back after these messages.
After 3 quarters, this
There's a bond among Central people that extends far beyond the 4 years that you spend at this wonderful institution. Should I start with the necktie? That necktie sends a message to a young person who may be immature that there's something beyond you, and this necktie is a symbol of the fact that you had better embrace that something that's bigger than you. You can't replace that. You can't quantify it. You can't draw a picture of it. I'll hear about a Pittsburgh celebrity or a national celebrity, and somebody will say, you know, he's a Central guy. And I would say, I didn't know that. As soon as that Central Catholic word comes out of somebody's mouth, there's a hollow feeling. Unless you're a Central person, you have trouble explaining what that bond is. You really do. You can say it with pride. I'm a Central guy. Still am.
Ace, a skilled sharpshooter in their respective tradecraft. Do you have what it takes to be an ace? Located in Homestead, Pennsylvania at the Bank on 8th, Ace Axe Throwing is the place where you and your friends can throw axes, drink, have fun, and compete to become an ace. Open Monday through Sunday. Book your tickets online today at www.aceaxethrowing.com.
Welcome back to the start of the fourth quarter. Handoff to Senior Brooks on the near sideline. He picks up first down yardage, steps out of bounds at the 47. Senior Brooks, the freshman, second leading rusher for this Central Catholic team coming into tonight. Leading rusher through the first half was Elijah Faulkner. He ran 9 times for 56 yards for a team that accumulated 191 rushing yards in the first half. But the story, of course, was Peyton Wayner. He finishes his night scoring 7 total touchdowns, 5 in the air, 2 on the ground, on just 4 carries and 17 of 21 passing. Senior Brooks, right side, steps out of bounds at the 39, trying to cut back in.
Senior Brooks, the ball carrier.
Yeah, 7 total touchdowns is crazy at any level of football.
It's absurd. I mean, it's really a once-in-a-lifetime performance, I'm sure.
And to think that you did it in one half, that's the craziest part about it, is that he didn't do it in a total game.
Right.
He did it in one half of football.
Jair Walls getting the play call in from Coach Lehmeyer. Handoff, Brooks. First hit by Clancy Ori. And gets back to the line, nothing more. Third down coming up.
Dan Barra, please report to the press box. Dan Barra, B-A-R-R-A.
Third down and 2. Senior Brooks has the first as he gets suplexed down to the 34, but
Brooks,
still has enough for the first for the Vikes.
Yeah, solid running there by Brooks. He found his opening. He just stuck with it there, even though it closed up on him. Yeah, solid running there. Yeah, Brooks, he's been getting more and more, I think, because of the skewed scores of this Central Catholic team as they've been playing. He's been getting some good, solid running time behind Faulkner, which is good. Again, I mean, like I said, you know, as these guys get more and more time to play, it's good.
Heading off to Brooks, near sideline. Puts Wetzel on skates before being driven down to the turf by Brian McGuire at the 32, gain of 2. And Senior Brooks, like we mentioned, second leading rusher the last couple of weeks, had 45 yards against Woodland Hills, scored a touchdown against St. Ignatius, 69 yards rushing, only 8 yards behind Faulkner, who was the leading rusher.
Yeah, that's a decent backfield that they got going for themselves.
And that's a Central team last week. Of course, we know about we'll get to that in a moment. Wall's screen pass is hauled in and dragged down hard by, that was Amari Wormsley.
Wall's pass complete.
He's dragged to the ground by Ori and Howerlack. They were in the area.
Amari Wormsley.
That was a good throw that we got to see there by Walls. He got to throw cross body there, long side of the field. It was good. It was good.
And last week, like we mentioned, against St. Ignatius, almost as balanced as you can get. Central, 241 yards rushing. Wayner threw for 244.
Yeah.
So
106 for the Vikings from the
So now through the first 3 weeks of the season, Wayner's thrown for 855 yards.
That's not bad for
Toss to
3
Brooks.
games.
And Brooks eats up a hit, loses the ball, however. And it's recovered by Bethel Park.
First turnover of the game.
Brooks on the carry.
It's recovered by Clancy Ori.
Fumble on the play recovered by Bethel Park.
Yeah, first turnover of the game. That's interesting because we, two defenses like we've seen out of Bethel Park and Central Catholic. We would have thought we would have seen more turnovers.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first one of the game.
Central's offense has been incredible for just one of many adjectives that you can use.
Yeah.
The defense has had its moments. Hand off, Javon Moore up the middle. Javon Moore running to the right-hand side. Now it's a foot race up to the 50-yard line. Moore out of bounds at the 47, and we're going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct as flipping him down was Yasser Ismaili.
Forced out by Yasser Ismaili.
Yeah, that was, unfortunately.
That puts Javon Moore, by the way, over 200 yards rushing.
That's a good night.
23 carries, 207.
It's a good night.
It was over. Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. Number 34, the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
I mean, it's a good run by Javon Moore.
Yeah, he has great range also.
Yes.
He definitely made that run more than it probably should have been because he has such good range.
Like we said, the Central defense has had its moments.
First and 10, Bethel
for
Park
good
from
and
the
for
Vikings, 31.
things to improve upon. Jet sweep goes to Petrus, right to left. And Petrus up to the 24-yard line where he's brought down by Ismaili alongside Roman Thompson. And Thompson comes up gimpy. That's someone that he's going to be a major player over the next few years, will be Roman Thompson.
Yeah, we've called his name a lot here in the second half.
Yeah, that's a freshman that the Western PA will be, I'm sure, very familiar with very soon. 2nd and 3, Pfeiffer fakes the handoff, looking over the end zone, wide open, touchdown to Jack Bruckner.
Pfeiffer's pass complete to Jack Bruckner for the Bethel Park touchdown.
And the defensive woes continue for the second string. And on the contrary, Jack Bruckner catches his first touchdown. Pfeiffer throws his third score. And Bethel's going to go for 2. Handoff Moore, and big hit. Did he get in? No, he did not. That was Yasser Ismaili again, making up for the late hit call, and he keeps Bethel out of the end zone on the 2-point conversion. 5:49 to play in the fourth quarter. Central Catholic 62, Bethel Park 40. No, this is not a basketball score, but this has been Well, both offenses came to play, regardless of even the 20 points in the second half by Bethel Park being, I guess you could say, skewed because it's against the second string. But Bethel's offense has still been pretty solid, all things considered.
Yeah, and this is what we expected out of Bethel Park, right? I mean, this is the 5A team that we expected to see. You know, and not to say that we didn't expect Central to put up points, but we just didn't expect them to put up so many points so fast in the first half.
Right.
Now, here's the question. It's a 3-score game now. Like, if you're Central and you do a 3-and-out on this drive.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but there was an injured Viking being helped up. That's Saneer Brooks.
Oh, it's good to see him walking off the field.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, if it's a 3-score game, and there is only 5 minutes and 49 seconds left. But if you do a 3-and-out here and you give the ball back to Bethel with plenty of time left, do you worry about that? I mean, Bethel Park has been pretty efficient now on scoring in short periods of time.
I would say defensively, you put the first string back in,
right?
Or at least consider it.
Right?
I would not put in the first string back in because, I mean, the first string, we know they can score. And Central's offense, even the second stringers, no, they haven't gotten in the end zone, but they've at least moved the ball. On the last possession, they moved the ball well. It was just cut short because
they got down to almost the red zone down there. Oh, that was almost a –
it was bobbled and pounced on by Brendan Lloyd.
Brendan Lloyd fields the kickoff. The Vikings will start the drive.
I'm actually a little shocked that Bethel Park wasn't a little bit more aggressive on that and just did a straight-up onside kick. So – just seems a little, I don't know, maybe he didn't want to poke the bear.
So Roman Thompson now in. He'll be the running back. He was mentioned he came up a little bit limping, but he's certainly in to at least finish out the game offensively. Handoff goes to Thompson, right side. Still keeps moving forward, and eventually he's brought down.
Yeah, strong wheels there.
Brought down by Kueha.
Close enough. I was asking Coach Package for pronunciations for Bethel Park, and I got to KK Kua, and he just said, good luck.
Second down and 4 from the 38.
Yeah, sometimes it's always tough.
Well, he is from Hawaii, and just a sophomore, and they're really high on him. So
sure,
it's a name that obviously is not easy to pronounce, but we're going to have to get used to it over at Bethel Park. Thompson hit in the backfield.
Wow.
Big hit by
Fumble.
Bergie.
Fumble
on the play. Here goes Christian Davis. Davis takes it back to the 5-yard line.
Christian Davis recovers the fumble brought down by Daniel Specca.
So the ball gets stripped, and Davis takes it back to the 5-yard line. 2 turnovers will appear on the stat sheet for Central Catholic. But, again, this is committed by the second string. And now all of a sudden, Kyle, to your point, maybe you think about putting in the first string.
I think you have to put in the first, at least on defense.
Yes.
Like, I really do.
Or maybe Coach Lehmeyer is trying to toughen them up, if nothing else. First string still in for Bethel Park. Toss, Moore, right side. Moore extending, he's in.
Yep.
Central says they got it, but instead it's a touchdown for Moore. He crossed the plane first.
The officials are calling, they're standing their ground back there for the touchdown. So,
well, even if he lost the ball, he hit the ground first.
the goal line, and before it came loose, result of the play is a touchdown.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Bethel Park touchdown.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, I think this has now become the highest scoring game in Central Catholic history.
I'm sure that it has.
And
I'm sure that it has.
end around, going to the left side. Tackle made short of the end zone. And making the stop was Ty Turkowski. And that player, Mitch Paschal, he's slow to get up. And with 3:19 to go in the fourth quarter, Bethel not going away. This is now a two-possession game. It's 62-46. And what has resembled a basketball game now.
Yeah, this game is so high scoring. I mean, like, I grew up in Idaho, and we had 8-man football in some of the rural towns and stuff like that. And, I mean, some of those games were pretty high scoring. But, yeah, this is high scoring for
I'll say this, because, like, I was talking with Joey Deasy at halftime, and, like, something I do after every game that I cover, regardless of what my role is, play-by-play, public address, whatever, I do a highlight of the game.
Sure.
And post it to my YouTube page.
Central Catholic Football Boosters would like to thank these.
This highlight video is going to be freaking 30 minutes long by the way things are going.
The Gonzalez family.
Yeah, it has to be, right? Because there's so many plays in this game that are unbelievable.
I mean, like, I have rules, of course. Like, once it gets to, like, a 3-possession game, then I start cutting down on, like, okay,
sure.
not it. Because, like, I try to get third downs. I try to get every first down. But once it gets to 3 possessions, it's like, okay, then you can kind of pick and choose.
Sure.
But when the score is so high like this, I mean, like, the video is going to be so long. And by the way, for those whose ears just perked after hearing that, that'll be posted more than likely tomorrow as Deasy feels the kick, gets awkwardly taken down the 42-yard line by Nick Hauerlach. 1st and 10 Vikings at the 41.
Yeah, heads-up play by Deasy there, just grabbing the football right out of the air. Yeah, so believe it or not, I mean, we were at a 62-20 game at half. And now we're 3 minutes left in the game, and we're at a 2-score game.
Well,
that's crazy.
Again, the second string has played in the entire second half. And certainly not as strong of a showing as they had against St. Ignatius last week.
No.
Handoff up the middle, taken down quickly by Jovian Smith. That was handed off to Thompson.
Well, and in fairness, St. Ignatius and Bethel Park are two totally different teams.
Right. I mean, St. Ignatius is still, they're still a quality team. They've been a quality program over in Ohio.
They're just a smaller school,
right.
That's all.
It'd be the equivalent of Pittsburgh Central playing, like, in terms of size, not in terms of talent.
Yeah, right.
Of like a Greensburg Central.
Right, right.
You know?
That's a good example, yeah.
And that's not a knock on Greensburg Central.
Nope, it is
I'm
not.
going based off of size.
Based off of size,
yeah.
That's right.
Handoff goes to Thompson. Thompson still fighting.
Thompson on the carry.
And they'll mark the play dead at the 45-yard line. Under 2 minutes left. So, well, the good news for Central is that, well, the defense, even if Central or if Bethel scores within the next minute 35, there won't be enough time for Bethel to get another series in.
Right, You're just running the clock at this point.
One would think.
Right. Greensburg Central. Last time I remember them going really far was when they had Max Suter.
2009, they made the state championship that year in class, what was then AA. And Roman Thompson moving forward, motoring to the 43-yard line, and that should do it.
Nathan Tights.
1st and 10 at the 43, and you can about finally put an end to this game.
First down Vikings. 1st and 10 from the Bethel Park.
Yeah, they're going to go in. They're going to go in the kneeling formation, just based off the fact that the tailback's so far deep. And there you go. So the Central Catholic offense dominates in the first half, 62 first half points, and the Vikings defeat the Bethel Park Blackhawks 62-46. And I'm going out on a limb by saying this was the highest scoring game in Pittsburgh Central Catholic history, with a combined 108 points scored between the two teams. Central moves to 3-0 on the season. They'll be on the road for the next couple of weeks to start off Class 6A play. They go to Mount Lebanon next week, and then the big one in 2 weeks at North Allegheny, a rematch of the WPIL Championship in Class 6A. And Kyle, I know that Central Catholic, especially after those games last year against the Tigers, Central's going to be really hungry for section play to start.
Absolutely. No, that's the truth. Central Catholic is definitely out to prove something, and especially against the Tigers. They're always out to prove something against the Tigers, but definitely this year, that's for sure.
Absolutely. As once again, we thank you so much for joining us here this evening from Gessling Stadium on the campus of Carnegie Mellon University. For our producer, Joey Deasy, our camera crew, for Kyle Templin, and all of our incredible crew here this evening that made this broadcast possible, I'm Brennan Rossai, signing off here tonight from a now darkened and, well, a picturesque Gessling Stadium. Final score this evening, Pittsburgh Central Catholic 62 and Bethel Park 46. We'll see you in a couple weeks when the Vikings play host to the Cannon McMillan Big Macs here at Carnegie Mellon University. In the meantime, have a great night from Pittsburgh, PA.